very warm welcome. I am Gushin Garland and you're watching Firstpost. In the next 2 minutes, I get you the top 40 updates from around the world, only here on Fast and Factual. Let's get started. We begin with the latest developments from South Asia. A suicide bombing targets an army school bus in Pakistan's Balochistan province, killing 5 people. At least 3 children are among the dead, with several others injured as the bus carried around 40 students. Images shared on social media show the shattered remains of the school bus with its windows broken alongside a pile of school bags near the scene. Meanwhile, terrorist organization Lashkar-e-Taiba's co-founder Amir Hamza gets hospitalized in Pakistan's Lahore after being critically injured at his residence. He is reportedly receiving treatment at a military hospital under the protection of Pakistan's Inter-Services Intelligence or the ISI. Hamza has been involved in several terror attacks against India. India begins sending multi-party delegations to other countries as part of a global outreach campaign against terrorism. Delegates carry evidence of Pakistan's role in cross-border terror and are set to meet several officials and lawmakers in nations across the world. The beating retreat ceremony resumes at several border crossings point between India and Pakistan in Punjab. This comes after the ceremony, a daily ritual that draws thousands of spectators, had been temporarily halted due to heightened security concerns following Operation Sindoor. However, this is no cross-border handshake or opening of border gates during the flag-lowering ceremony. Moving to Southeast Asia, Philippines and US Coast Guard vessels conduct joint maritime exercises in South China Sea. The exercises held near Palawan and Occidental Mindoro include communication drills and search and rescue operations to strengthen defense partnerships. They come amid ongoing tensions over China's disputed claims in the strategic waterway. In East Asia, Japan's farm minister resigns after controversial remarks on rice prices. The development comes after former Minister Taku Ito said he never bought rice himself because his supporters donated enough, sparking public outrage amid soaring rice costs. In West Asia, a new US intel reportedly suggests that Israel is preparing for a possible strike on Iranian nuclear facilities. US officials reportedly say this could risk escalating broader tensions in the region, though Israel has not made a decision. The intel comes as Washington tries to pursue a diplomatic deal with Tehran. Moving to the war in Europe, Russia says it intercepted 159 drones launched by Ukraine over 12 hours, targeting several regions including Moscow. The attacks follow a phone call between US President Donald Trump and his Russian counterpart Vladimir Putin that reportedly failed to clinch a breakthrough towards a ceasefire. Shifting to the United States, South Africa's President Cyril Ramaphosa will be meeting his US counterpart Donald Trump later today. This comes amid tensions over Washington's resettlement of white Afrikaners, whom President Trump claims are victims of a so-called genocide. President Donald Trump unveils new details of his plan for a Golden Dome missile shield system to protect the country against attacks. The US president announces $25 billion in initial funding for the plan, which he says could eventually cost around $175 billion and should be operational within about 3 years. A violent thunderstorm knocked out power in Kansas and Missouri. Footage showed strong winds in Lynchburg and a tornado in Athens, Alabama. Power was cut for over 75,000 customers. In fact, over 4,000 customers remained without electricity after the weather chaos. No injuries or deaths were reported. The coastal town of L'Île-à-Ventoux in southern France was battered by heavy rainfall, leading to widespread flooding and property damage. Authorities confirmed the death of an elderly woman, while her husband remains missing. Emergency services are continuing search operations as cleanup efforts begin. Heavy unseasonal rain slashed Mumbai, Pune and parts of Maharashtra. Thunderstorms, strong winds and lightning brought relief from the heat but caused chaos. Several areas in Mumbai were waterlogged, halting traffic and daily life. The Andheri subway was fully submerged and officials used pumps to drain the water. Weather officials issued yellow and orange alerts for the next 4 days. A new study says 60% of Indian districts face high or very high heatwave risks. This include areas home to 76% of the country's population. The study links rising nighttime temperatures and humidity to worsening health effects. New Delhi ranks among the highest risk districts. North India is also seeing unusual spikes in humidity, intensifying heat stress. Scientists blame climate change for the worsening heat extreme across South Asia. Coal-based steel production is increasingly globally, new research shows. India and China lead the rise in high-emission blast furnace projects. As per the research, over 303 million metric tons of new capacity is in the pipeline, and steel accounts for 11% of global greenhouse gas emissions. By 2030, at least 64% of steel will still come from coal-fired methods, and India is now central to efforts to decarbonize global steel, experts say. On to business and tech news now. Asian markets edge higher, but investors say cautious due to high bond yields and a lack of progress on fresh trade talks. China's blue chip index stays flat, while Hong Kong's Hang Seng gained 0.58% in early trade. Meanwhile, the MSCI's broadest index of Asia-Pacific shares outside Japan creeps up to 0.5%. Oil prices jump over 1% after reports of Israel preparing a strike on Iran's nuclear sites, raising fears of supply disruption in West Asia. Brent futures for July rose 97 cents or 1.5% to $66.35 a barrel earlier in the day. A U.S. aviation regulator orders flight cuts at Newark Airport to ease severe delays. This as Newark, a major hub for United Airlines, faces ongoing staff shortages, runway work, and widespread flight disruptions. U.S. home improvement chain Home Depot says it will keep product prices unchanged despite U.S. tariffs. This comes as several consumer companies face challenges from President Donald Trump's high import tariffs. However, Home Depot says it might make some products unavailable at its stores due to the tariff impact. Lingerie maker Victoria's Secret adopts a shareholder rights plan to prevent a takeover. This after Australian billionaire and investor Brett Blundy's firm raises its stake to 13% in the apparel company. The poison pill activates if any shareholder buys 15% or more, aiming to protect all shareholders from a low premium takeover. Levi Strauss announces the sale of its Dockers apparel brand to Reebok and Van Heusen owner Authentic Brands Group for $311 million. The move lets Levi Strauss focus on its flagship Levi's brand and Beyond Yoga activewear, with the deal expected to close by January next year. British retailer Marks & Spencer says last month's cyber attack will cost about $403 million in operating profit this year before insurance or cost-cutting measures. This after the hack shut down online clothing sales, disrupted food supplies, and wiped off over $1.3 billion of the company's market value. Elon Musk says he will stay on as Tesla CEO for at least 5 more years. The commitment comes amid a slump in Tesla sales and a fall in its stock price, blamed on Musk's deepening role in President Donald Trump's administration. Musk also says he plans to sharply cut his political spending, a clear signal he is shifting focus back to his business empire. Google unveils a nearly $250 a month and AI Ultra plan and launches AI mode of search users across the US. The announcement comes as its I/O conference, where CEO Sundar Pichai says the Gemini app now has over 400 million active users. Google also debuts new smart glasses with real-time translation and teases an XR headset built with Samsung. Popular multiplayer game Fortnite returns to Apple's US App Store after a nearly 5-year ban. This comes as Epic Games, a US studio backed by China's Tencent, has been in a legal battle with Apple since 2020. The company accuses Apple of violating antitrust laws by charging up to 30% on in-app payments. Moving to sports, we begin with cricket. Rajasthan beat Chennai by 6 wickets in the ongoing Indian Premier League. After taking to field at Delhi's Arun Jaitley Stadium, Rajasthan restricted Chennai at 187 runs, powered by 3-wicket hauls from Akash Mathwal and Yudhvir Singh. Chennai struggled to rein in Rajasthan batters as Rajasthan chased down the total with 23 balls remaining. Mumbai and Delhi are scheduled to fight for IPL playoffs qualification later today. The high-stakes clash is facing weather-related challenges as the city of Mumbai faces the threat of rain. While the victory for Mumbai would guarantee their playoff spot, Delhi can save themselves from elimination if the game is washed out. Indian Cricket Board (BCCI) announces schedule and the venues for the IPL playoffs. The first qualifier will be played in New Chandigarh on May 29th, followed by an eliminator on May 30th. Ahmedabad's Narendra Modi Stadium will host the second qualifier on June 1, followed by the IPL final on June 3rd. In football, newly crowned FA Cup winners Crystal Palace beat Wolverhampton Wanderers 4-2 in the Premier League. After a 24th-minute goal by the Wolves, Crystal Palace Eddie Nketiah struck a brace. Ben Chilwell extended the lead to 3-1. Wolves hit the back of the net in the 62nd minute but failed to make a comeback. And Manchester City beat Bournemouth 3-1 in the Premier League. In Kevin De Bruyne's last match for the City, Bernardo Silva and Nico Gonzalez goals scored for the City as they kept Champions League hopes alive. And star Manchester City midfielder Rodri made his return to the game. The Ballon d'Or winner was initially expected to miss the rest of the season, but he came off with the substitutes bench in the 83rd minute of the City's Premier League game against Bournemouth. Reports say Southampton are accelerating plans to appoint Will Still as their head coach. If Saints make sufficient progress in the coming days, they hope the 32-year-old will be in the stands when they host Arsenal on Sunday. In tennis, Serbian legend Novak Djokovic appoints longtime friend and former doubles partner Dusan Vemic as his coach. Vemic will coach Djokovic for both the week's Geneva Open and the upcoming French Open. In badminton, star Indian shuttler PV Sindhu's winless stretch continues. The two-time Olympic medalist crashed out of Malaysia Masters. Sindhu lost to her Vietnamese opponent 11-21, 21-14, 15-21 in a round of 32 clash. Meanwhile, India's HS Pranoy and Ayush Shetty advanced in Malaysia Masters. Pranoy beat Japan's Kenta Nishimoto 19-21, 21-17, 21-16 in their round of 32 clash. While Ayush Shetty got better of Canada's Brian Yang, the 20-year-old shuttler beat the Canadian 20-22, 21-10, 21-8. And finally, from the world of showbiz, Lady Gaga won a Sports Emmy for her Hold My Hand Super Bowl tribute. The singer was nominated in the Outstanding Music Direction category. She now has an Oscar, Grammy and Emmy, just one Tony away from EGOT. The emotional performance honored victims of the New Year's attack in New Orleans that killed 14 people. Scarlett Johansson's debut film Eleanor the Great received a 5-minute standing ovation at Cannes. She praised June Squibb as truly inspiring and said the film was made with love. The movie explores themes of friendship, grief and forgiveness. Her husband, Colin Jost, and Hollywood executives were present at the premiere. Netflix added 7 new cast members to Avatar: The Last Airbender for Season 2 and 3. Names include Dichu Lackman, Dolly De Leon and Tanto Cardinal. Production on Season 2 is complete, with Season 3 shooting begins soon. The live-action series sticks to the original 3-season arc. FX released the trailer of The Bear Season 4, which will be out on June 25. The trailer shows the protagonist racing against time to save the restaurant from going broke. The trailer teases rising tension, Sydney's big offer and personal growth. Season 3 ended with a mixed review and a very loud outburst from Kami. And Millie Alcock says she was told to get an acting coach on her second day of the set of House of the Dragon. The comment shook her confidence while playing young Rhaenyra. She admitted that the moment made her question her acting skills. Alcock appeared briefly in Season 2 after a key role in Season 1. That's all for today. Thank you for joining us. I am Gushin Galan and we'll see you right back here tomorrow. Stay informed and stay tuned to Firstpost.